Namaste, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Make sure you subscribe down that corner on the red button to get notifications, of course, on new cosmic events, as I call it. Now, before I begin, the next clairvoyant psychic reading that I will be doing live here on YouTube will be on Wednesday, October the 30th at 12 noon Mountain Standard Time. 2 p.m. Eastern or 11 a.m. Pacific. I'm going to give you what messages I'm hearing for the Halloween season. What spooky Halloween messages are going to come through from Spirit for you? So, in order to get a free clairvoyant reading from me, you have to tune in that day. Set your clock, set your dial, subscribe to my channel, and follow me on Instagram, Jeni Ji Cousins, because my team puts up notifications there as well whenever I'm going live. And of course, all over social media. But following me on Instagram, I can follow you back easily, right? So let's begin. Let us begin with this week. Like, oh my gosh, we are still in eclipse season. It's been life transforming. Really look back on September. Like, we're in October. This is crazy. September, what was happening? What challenges faced you? September was a very powerful month. This is a huge, powerful month as well. October, we still have that eclipse energy, this new moon energy that happened here on the second and third. You're still feeling that energy. It's so powerful. You're going to find that even on the 5th of October, this week especially, but the 5th of October, there's some major solar storms, solar flares, cosmic solar, outages. And whenever we have these solar storms, it creates ascension symptoms within our body. Your animals as well feel this. It can cause weather disruptions. It can cause, like earthquakes. It can cause major disturbances, especially technical, electronically. It causes like the satellite to go off frequency. So anything could happen, like your internet could go down that day. So if you're having problems with your electronics and technical issues, this week, especially on the 5th. It's not that, oh my gosh, you got to get a new phone or computer or whatever. Just really be cautious. And if you can avoid it, try to stay offline, right? Like I'm online all day. So most of us are realistically with our jobs and our work and whatever we're doing. But just use extra caution because you're gonna feel really exhausted. Like your body literally, how many of you have not been sleeping? Like I mean, I've been up since 3 a.m. this morning myself, and I have a lot of energy. I'm like, really 3 a.m. again? Again, seriously, Spirit? I don't get back to sleep, but I have so much energy. So what's happening is your body is moving to a higher frequency with the vibration of the planet. As you're ascending, as your vibration is raising, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, you're gonna feel literally vibrating. Your ears could be ringing, you could get exhausted. You could be just like, what's going on? Like my body feels really achy. I'm feeling kind of nauseous, like what is going on, right? This is why, I've stressed out for quite some time. This is a year where we really, really have to focus more on our health and continuing on. It's really important to watch your immune system right now. Pay attention to whenever you have, like, you know what, I'm not sure what that is or what's going on. Always, like reevaluate the situation, see your doctor. You might find that, what, maybe I should go for my yearly checkup, or maybe I should actually have a checkup. Like certain things like that, don't ignore, especially your pets as well. Eclipse seasons, there's more passings, more animal passings, more like people we know that are passing suddenly and such like that, especially new moons. New moons is a really big time as well. So I'm always saying, whenever you're feeling that, I should go see that person, or maybe I should give them a call, check up on them. Really pay attention to your intuition because it's really strong right now. That veil is really thin, really thin. Like I literally see people's spirits walking right in front of me. Like, when people are around me, they're like, Jenny, how come stuff like this only happens when I'm around you? Like what's going on? Like I have a beaded doorway. It's like of a moon and stars and such. And when I'm laying in bed, I can see like, like where they're hanging from. And they're moving. And I'm like, okay, like, do I have a fan going on? Like what's this? No, they're just swaying. I don't feel bad energy. I feel good energy. So, for me, that's normal. So, like stuff like that is normal. If I really told you what I could see, you guys would be like, "What? You wouldn't believe me? Seriously? Like honestly, unless you get it." So I observe a lot. So I'm sitting back saying, "Okay, all right." So you're also going to feel even your loved ones more around you that have passed on. Your animals are going to come by. Like every night, my dog Bella, who had passed on in February, just when I turn the lights off, she jumps on my bed and I can feel her literally walking alongside me and everything. Sometimes I'll hear her little snoring and everything. So, I mean, I talk to my animals all the time because I'm also an animal communicator, and people say like, that's really good and stuff. Like it's easy to talk. And I'm like, you know what? When you lose somebody you love, it doesn't matter if you're like a medium or an animal communicator or what. Yes, I can communicate with people who've passed and your animals and such. However, I still miss them. I still miss them. You just want to hold them. Sometimes I just miss holding Bella and petting her and such. And it's like reaching out to the phone call or going seeing somebody who has passed on as well. So no, um, it's not easier. Like, I can communicate and zoom in on them at any time. Yes, which does bring me comfort, but there's still that heartbreak because you physically miss them. So, it's like even when people have passed, we know it's painful, right? I mean, they're perfectly fine. They're perfectly at peace. They get, brought to the ascended masters and shown just like we all do, right? Why we're here, the good, the bad, and the ugly, our life review. That's why I also do past life Akashic records, because there's a reason you're born. There's a reason why you're here. And there's a reason why you connect with different people. So it's all, we're all connected, like we're all one, regardless of what. And this week here is very fated. There's a lot of fated cosmic events happening right now. I mean, that's continuing on. Like this month, October, it's hugely powerful with the eclipse. It's about relationships. You've noticed it with the eclipse. Eclipse removes situations and relationships, boom, just like that, out of your life. There can be sudden endings. There can be sudden new beginnings. With this being like a fated week, all of a sudden, you could enter into, like a new relationship. There's a lot of karmic clearing. The universe is showing you this week even more karmic situations that have ended. If it's relationships, you're going to want to be like, you know what? I'm more drawn to people who are authentic. I've always been very drawn to more authenticity myself personally. And you're going to find that certain people or organizations or, whatever it is, you're going to be just like, you know what? I mean, I even myself was going to end something. I was going to end something. And I just took some time out of it. And like, you know what? I know I have to end this, but I'm giving it another chance right now just to kind of see. Mistakes can happen. However, You have to go in your own comfort zone as well. However, when there's a situation that's very toxic, this is something you really, really have to pay attention to. No matter if it's a toxic habit or behavior or relationship or job, like whatever it is, really pay attention to that. Really pay attention to that because, the eclipse wants to help you whenever you're working with this energy. This is why I do cosmic vibes because every single day I'll tell you what's going on, what to expect, what days are not so good to make certain decisions, what days it's like, yes, sign that contract or don't sign that contract or certain things like that. I work with the energies. I plan certain things around different events. So even let's say on the 5th, like I mentioned, solar storms and everything, I was actually going to do something and I'm like, okay, you know what, that's not the day to do that. Really, I mean, sometimes, yes, of course we have to do things. It's like surgeries, full moons, new moons and stuff like that. It's not a good time for surgeries. I mean, sometimes, yes, we have to have surgeries and stuff. I mean, I have to have another couple of procedures, but I'm like, okay, let me kind of look at my calendar and let's hope that it's not falling on there because I won't do it. It's not like life threatening, right? So it's different. There's a really big difference. So just be really mindful who you're allowing into your life and really pay attention to what is not working. This eclipse has brought forth a lot of things with jobs, with careers, with relationships, excuse me, with certain things. Really pay attention. Is it really working for you? Have you put a lot of time and energy into it? And you're like, where's this going? Like, where am I going with this? Like, is it paying off? Is it like not? Maybe it's time to end that, or maybe it's time to tweak something and make some changes with it. You still have this opportunity to reset things. This is why the eclipse purposely brings things to the center and say, hey, look at this. How's that working out for you? How has that been working out for you? What are you going to do about it? So it's really important to pay attention to this. So on the 5th and the 6th as well this week, there's some romance going on. Maybe that's the week where you're getting it on with your person. Maybe your person comes back. Maybe that person you've had your eye on returns, this and that. But please be really careful because certain people can be a very karmic challenging. Oh, but that's my soulmate. That's my twin flame. Do you know how many times I hear that every day? I get it. I get it. I get it. However, let's look at reality. Let's look into this situation. I'll give you my insights and so on and so on. And you have to make the decision yourself. You can't judge anybody whenever they're making mistakes or they're doing something you don't like that. That's none of your business. That has nothing to do with you. That's their journey. And you cannot, like put that person down. We all have our own journey, for goodness sakes, you guys. Like, seriously, right? I had some karmic situation coming towards me with someone, and I'm like, no, where this isn't going to happen. Sorry. So, there's certain situations where you really have to take a look back and say, okay, is this really going to work for me? Sometimes we don't know. Sometimes we have to take that risk. Sometimes we have to jump in and say, you know what? I don't know where this is going, but I'm going to do it. How are you going to learn if you don't? However, look at the reality. Look at the reality and especially highlight and pay attention to the red flags. The red flags. Mistakes were showing during the eclipse. There's a lot of deceit. There's a lot of people that are lying about. I mean, I know when somebody's lying and not being truthful, and I sit back and I don't really say anything about it. I sit back and I observe, and then things can end because of that. Because that's something I don't put up with is somebody not being honest. That's the lowest form for me. It's like, no, I'm just going to go in a different direction. See ya. You know what I mean? So there's certain things, and sometimes we can give, them a second chance or whatever like that. Honesty, why would you not be honest and speak authentically with integrity? You have to stay true to yourself. It's really, really important. So you might even find this week that you're going to start taking big steps, like even the 5th and the 6th, as I mentioned. You could be like, I got to start taking these steps. So you might even find like on the 7th and the 8th, you're going to be more passionate. You're going to be like, yeah, I really want to like make these changes. I want to work on my projects, or maybe I want to start a project, or, maybe I'm going to do some renovations on my place. Maybe I'm going to like whatever it is. You're going to be more optimistic because with that new moon that came in, if you guys watch my videos, that new moon is bringing balance. Balance. Like I had some issues going on with my phone, and I'm like, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for this. So it was actually on the new moon, and I'm like, okay, the only way I'm going to resolve this issue is to do it, is to resolve it. So the other place I was normally going to go to, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to go there. No, 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 because they just want to sell you and up, and all of these things to, oh yeah, all these services. And I'm like, the person that I had went to before just to ask a simple question, oh my God, he just wanted to sell me the whole entire stock and everything. And I'm like, okay, I just came here just to ask you a question. So this is why it's really important to listen to your intuition. And because of, all of the bullshit, basically, I know he was lying about everything. I won't go back there. I didn't say anything. I didn't confront him. I observed, lesson learned, walk away. So I went somewhere else. I got the calling, okay, spirit, go to this location, Jeni. And I'm like, okay, I don't have time for this, but I have to deal with this. I can't deal with my phone, right? My cell phone. So I went up there. It was awesome. Yes, the guy tried to serve, like up me services and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, not right now, but I appreciate the feedback, and I'm very grateful for your help because oh my God, he fixed my phone. Like, oh my God, I was so grateful. And he was actually pretty cute too, I might say. Right. Here's my number. Call me if there's any problems, Jeni. And what's your number? Let me pre-program and I'll get you. And so text me right away. And I'm like, okay, however, I'm just not interested right now in those services. However, because he was really nice, he was polite, he was honest. I could see he was talking the truth and everything like that. I will go back when I'm ready, if I'm ready to make certain changes with that. Because he was being honest. He was speaking with integrity. So you have seen, and the eclipse season has been showing you who is full of it, who is not authentic. I've actually stopped following certain people on social media and certain things like that myself because I'm like, you know what? I just don't connect anymore. I know that it's just not authentic, just certain things. So you all know what you're drawn to and what you're not drawn to. You're going to want to be more connected with more soul groups, with more soul tribes, people that you really feel more of a connection with, and it's letting certain people go and such like that. Mercury retrograde at times, it brings people back again for a second chance or to resolve issues as well. So, when somebody says, oh, I had to end my friendship, let's say, or I had to end my connection or whatever like that is, I get that. You have to do what feels right for you. But Mercury retrograde can bring that person back again. Or maybe you want to go back to that person and resolve things too. So, there's different times and such, but this week, you might start resolving these issues, and it's really important, especially the 7th and the 8th as well. Really pay attention, even this week, to your dreams. When you sleep, when you wake up, they're going to be a lot more vivid. And, sometimes, like if I wake up, well, when I wake up, not if, right? Whenever I wake up and I'm like, oh, I just have this interesting dream, I start writing it down. If I don't get the message just like that, I will start writing it down. Like I have notepads all over my place and water bottles. I even have notepads in my bathroom, right? Like, so I write it down and I'm like, okay, that's what the dream meant. That's what the message was from the spirit world. As I mentioned, your loved ones are a lot closer to you right now. You might feel that, I'm feeling my dad around me, or I'm feeling my animal, or I'm feeling my mom, or like whatever it is. That's them, and you can always say, Dad, is that you? Give me a sign. I ask myself too, I say, give me a physical sign. I like physical signs, right? That's why when people are around me, they're like, oh my God, like how did that happen? Jenny, why does that always happen only when I'm around you? And I'm like, well, I'm just saying, right? For me, it's normal. It's completely normal for me, but some people, they might be like, oh my God. And always go by how you're feeling. Like if you feel an energy around you, go by, are you feeling something's really wrong, or you're feeling, it's not, doesn't feel right? Pay attention to that, because that energy might not be good. You can clear your home and such like that, and clear yourself. Or if you're feeling, I can feel somebody around me, and I'm not picking up bad vibes. It's all about the vibes. Really pay attention to how you're feeling. You might not know who it is, right? But if you're sensing, I kept feeling my mom around me. I kept feeling my friend around me. I kept feeling like whatever it is, go with that, go with that. And you can say, can you, give me a sign if that's you specifically? Then all of a sudden you might hear a song on the radio that reminds you of them, or something like, there's so many signs. There's so many signs. I can go on and on about that. So the 10th of October, it is a huge transformational day. It's a really, really big transformational day. It's a day where you could be feeling even more ascension symptoms. Ascension symptoms, headaches, vertigo, dizziness, nausea, flu-like symptoms. Your body might be a little bit more achy as well. There's a lot of symptoms, and we're like, oh, my neck is feeling really sore, or God, like, oh, my eyes, they're more watery, or my skin's itchy, or like whatever, or gosh, my hair is, my scalp is itchy, like just certain things like that. So it's a day where, like drink a lot more water. And it's really important to watch your thoughts, especially that day, the 9th and the 10th. It's always important to watch our thoughts no matter what, right? We all have our good and bad days. And if you even look back the past few days, all of a sudden you might have that anger like come out like, ah, right? Like, why am I so mad at myself? Or spirit, you're not working with me. You're purposely creating all of these challenges and obstacles. I hate you. I just don't like my life. Like certain things like that. We all have our good days and bad days, of course, but whenever you're feeling overly emotional like this, your soul wants you to release that, because we still have Chiron energy, which is releasing a lot of old wounds, traumatic situations, throughout our entire lifetime. So you might get triggered very easy, like very easy. Tears all of a sudden, you could be just driving or shopping or like anything. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, why am I feeling so sad? Oh my God. Like, right. So, and especially there's so much more truth coming out, as I've been mentioning for a long time. Look at the world, P. Diddy, and there's more coming out on that. By the way, as I had mentioned before, even in prediction videos I've done and such like that, certain things more and more and more and more is getting exposed. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're the world's most famous person. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. Truth is the truth. People feel they can get away with things, especially whenever they're doing harm to other people, and they know it. And it's all a power trip or greed or all of those negative things I'm not even going to go on about, but it always gets exposed. Always gets exposed. Doesn't matter who it is. Doesn't matter who it is. So it's a week as well to really reflect back on lessons learned. We all learn lessons. We all learn lessons. If you don't pay attention, you keep repeating it over and over and over again until we're like, oh, I get it. Or, oh, I don't want to do that anymore. I've had enough. We all know when we've had enough of a situation or a relationship, or like no matter what it is, we're like, okay, I'm done. I get it. I'm done. Spirit, give me the courage and the strength and the will to remove that or get through these obstacles and these challenges. Because for every problem, there's a solution. Like my phone, I left it going on for 2 days where I wasn't receiving mail messages. And I'm like, oh my God, like I can't deal with this, because I get a lot of messages coming in all day long for certain things that are really important. And I'm like, okay, I can't continually log into my laptop to check messages. I don't have time for that. So, it's like, okay, I have to deal with it. Problem resolved. And I'm like, you know what? If my phone is broken, which I didn't think it was, I will have to buy a new phone. That, like, regardless of what, that's just the way it is. Problem resolved, right? But when we run from problems, when we run from our challenges and obstacles, the eclipse gives you that rude awakening. That rude awakening. How many of you have had a rude awakening with a relationship or a job or something that it's just not working for you anymore? Really pay attention. This is why during certain seasons we're like, oh my God, like now we're going through this. Oh my God. However, it's like, okay, I'm open to see what's not working. I'm open to see what I need to resolve or fix or end or start or whatever it is. Spirit, please show me what is best for my higher self and my highest purpose. You will feel more calling. You will feel more purpose this week. This is a really fated karmic week of destiny. It continues on like this month, seriously, continues on. There's a lot of fated events, a lot that's going to happen, a lot. Whenever we hear some so-called shocking news, is it really shocking anymore? Seriously, it can be like, oh my God, are you seriously kidding me? It's just the truth coming out, the truth coming out and out and out and out. As we get to the 11th, certain things that you have been through, your challenges and your obstacles, and especially certain things that you have worked hard towards, you very well could see even more results that day. And that you are not the same person as what you were before. Look back to August, look back into January, look back to October last year, 2023. Where were you? What was going on? Where are you today? What happened? What did you resolve? How did you transform and shift forward? Some of you have transcended in quantum leaps. Some of you are still working on things. But if you are ignoring and pushing things under the rug, it's going to really bite you. It really is. It really is. And it's never easy. Lessons are usually very painful. That's why they're called lessons. You're going to find that you're going to have a lot more closures as well. You're still going to be healing. There's a lot of passings that has happened, and that is going to continue on and on and on. Eclipse season is expect the unexpected. And you're going to find that, why am I drawn to this? Why? Write it down. Start writing it down. That's your soul saying, hey, you know what? We're showing you what your destiny is. We're showing you what you're really good at. We all have talents and abilities and like we're good at certain things. Some of the things we're not good at. And when you're like, you know what, this feels right for me. As I mentioned before, there's always opportunities. The eclipse brings in huge opportunities. I get presented with opportunities. It doesn't mean I'm going to agree to it or I'm going to say yes to it. No, it's just not the right fit for me, or maybe they're not the right time or whatever. But I'm always grateful. So be really open with opportunities that are coming your way. But if you're not sure, just take that pause and just say, okay, thank you for this information. I really appreciate that. Just give me a little bit of time to, look it over and see if this is really going to fit for me. Do that first. You can get offered a job with a lot of money, right? You can be like, oh, this is awesome. Now I can do all of these things, which is great, of course, right? We need money to survive. However, really take a look at that. Really take a look at that. Okay, what's all involved? How do the hours work for me? What's all involved with my job description? There's people who I've known that have made really, really, really good money, working and different careers and such. And they walked away, and they're like, you know what? Yeah, I made really big money, but it just wasn't me. It's just not me. I'm working to make a paycheck and I hate my job. We all know what that's like. We all know what that's like. Of course, we have to work. We have bills to pay. We have to survive, and so on and so on and so on. Of course, right? I get that, but just make sure you take time for you and really see. Okay, is this going to work for me? There's other opportunities. Other opportunities. Stay open. Really, really stay open because things are going to reset. Things are going to reset this week, really are, when you're open, when you're open. And, during these cosmic times, our bodies get affected differently and your animals as well. So you might even find the seventh and eighth, your liver and your hips and your thighs could be off. Whenever I go for walks and stuff like that, and I'm doing my photography, sometimes, my hip will kind of give out. And I'm like, really? Just keep me going. So I'm like, okay, Jeni, you got to stretch a little bit more or be easy because your muscles will get affected. Like 2024, 2025, it's like a solar year without going into lots of details. So you might find that your muscles can be a little bit more sore. And I don't care if you're an athlete or not, you have to be gentle when you're stretching. Be very gentle when you're stretching because your body is adjusting to new energy. That's why your sleep is off and you're waking up like, I seriously, like 3 a.m. And I think I went to bed at I probably fell asleep around 11:30 and I woke up at 3 and you'd think you'd be exhausted. I'm like, yeah, let's just get this things going, right? So we all work with things differently and such like that. And I'm like, okay, let's go with the vibration because the vibration is lifting. I want to be in the higher vibration and not in the low vibration. The low vibration is really obvious, and that's why I distance away from certain things. I see postings on social media, people are slamming their friends and just certain things like that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I saw something and I'm like, I can't believe you just said that about that person. Like, wow, why would you not talk to that person in private rather than putting it all over social media? Because it says a lot about who you are. So just be really careful. This is a week, like I'm saying, it's very fated. There's a lot of karmic ramifications that has been going on. There's people that regret how they treated you. So it's important to be careful with these karmic fated events right now. Very careful. I'm just saying. You asked me a question on the live event here when I'm doing my clairvoyant readings, on YouTube. You got to subscribe to get these notifications, for goodness sakes, right? Okay, so I'm going to pull a couple of cards to see what the collective has to say. I don't use cards when I do readings for anybody because I'm a clairvoyant. So I read into your energy, just your energy, not the world's energy, and give you messages specifically for you and a lot of details. So here, I'm going to talk to the cards to see what the universe has to say for you. And let me know if you resonate with the cards because it won't resonate for everybody. Of course not. We all have different things going on. So because this is very kind of fated with relationships, especially, I've pulled a couple of decks. Well, I've got a few decks here I get drawn to. I'm going to pull this one first for some reason. So the deck I'm going to be using here is the Oracle of Portals, Test Whitehurst. For those of you. Yes, I'm putting the decks up front so you can see them. Somebody says, what decks are you using? Like, what card was that? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Right. Then I'm like, okay, I'll put the decks, you guys know. And make sure you clear the decks before you start them because it clears your energy when you last use them or whoever else used them, right? So now let's ask the spirit world, what is their message here for the 5th of October to the 11th of October? What is a cosmic message collectively from the spirit world? What is the cosmic message? What is the cosmic message? Cosmic message. All right. So now the card here that fell out is celebration. So you know how I said that this is a very fated week, of course, and you're going to start to see where you have transformed, what you have let go of, what you have resolved. Because when you face these challenges, the eclipse works with you and things will get easier. When we ignore challenges and obstacles, what happens? It gets worse, right? Celebration. Celebrate. How many of you are celebrating your achievements? How many? And achievements don't have to be like winning an Academy Award, for goodness sakes. Achievements can be anything. I mean, I have short goals and I have long-term goals and such like that. And even whenever, like I said, I got my phone fixed, I'm like, oh, I'm so grateful. You have no idea. The guy says, like, is everything okay? And all of a sudden, I'm so grateful for you. Thank you so, 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 so much. You really totally made my day. And I really meant that. He helped me with that. So it's just like, yeah, I felt amazing because the littlest things that were big things. Celebrate yourself, celebrate you, right? When was the last time you had a nice dinner? When was the last time you bought yourself something? When was the last time you did something for yourself? Celebrate you. Don't wait for other people to celebrate. I never wait for anybody to celebrate me. No, ever, never, ever, ever. Certain things I accomplish, I'm like, okay, like so I just keep on going on and on and on and on. But certain times we're like, oh, okay, I can actually see results with that. Or, just certain things. Celebrate you for goodness sakes. Celebrate you. So okay, so I felt that deck right away to be called. And I'm gonna pull this deck because this is like Whispers of Love, with Angela Heartfelt. Because this is fated that the eclipse, like I'm saying, brings in destined relationships. That's going to continue throughout October with the eclipse season. We have a couple more weeks left with that till what, the 17th of the 22nd, somewhere around there. So you could still have soulmate relationships, twin flames, all of those things. And be careful because there can be karmic connections that can work the opposite direction, right? But we all have our own journey, of course. So let's ask the spirit world. Let's ask the spirit world. The 5th to the 11th. What's the message from the spirit world? The message from the spirit world. Wow, that card, literally. Kind-hearted. Absolutely. It's really important to be kind. I always stress that. Be kind to others. Show compassion, for goodness sakes. And most importantly, show kindness to yourself and show compassion for yourself. We all have been going through things. We all have been dealing through things. It don't matter who you are. I don't care who you are. You're the most populous person on the planet. What does that have to do with anything? Show kindness and compassion. We all have our own traumas, our own sadness, our own situations we're struggling with. The Chiron energy is bringing a lot through. There's a lot of healing going on. There's a lot of traumatic events we're still working through and healing through, and certain things we can work through more, certain things we never get through. So whenever you're having those days and you're like, I'm really struggling with this, show love and compassion towards yourself. We're human. We're human beings. Earth is a very difficult energy to be here on our planet, as we all can clearly see. However, there's a lot of beautiful things as well with it. It's really important to stay more in the positivity of, wow, look at mother, or look at the fall, look at the autumn, look at this beautiful photo here. I love taking photography. It's one of my meditations and such like that. You can check me out, Jeni Ji Photography on Instagram, and I'm over a little, all over pretty much. So it's just something I'm passionate about. It's where I meditate. People are like, oh, can I come with you? And I'm like, no, it's just me. It's part of my meditation. It's not that person. It's like we can get together, have a coffee or something, but this is my time for me. I've met amazing people, amazing people through my photography. Amazing. So let's ask the universe, the 5th to the 11th. And there's Thanksgiving coming up in Canada here. I don't remember the last time I ever celebrated or had a Thanksgiving. I don't even remember how many years ago. I'm the black sheep in my family, of course, right? So, black sheeps, of your family, don't feel bad about that. There's many, many reasons for that. Many, many reasons. I would rather be on my own than be with a toxic energy. It doesn't matter who they are. And it comes down to clearing and resolving issues. And it is past life connected and so on and so on. And it really, really brings you who you are today. Because of what I've been through, I don't like to see other people go through that. So there's many reasons why I do the work that I do. Many reasons why. Many reasons. If I can help somebody really work through something to give them more of a peace of mind and understanding of why this is happening. And not only that, is to truly help them work through it with certain steps and such. My job is done. That's just myself. So what's the 5th to the 11th of October bringing? Wow. Now this is very true. Very true. This week, as I mentioned, and especially the eclipse brings on truth, wars and battles. What you see, what you hear may not be the truth. You have seen what we're all battling. You have seen as more truth gets exposed, what happens? Riots. What happens? Humanity starts to take their power back. Humanity starts to say enough. Enough. We've had enough. Wars and battles are within yourself as well. It gives you that opportunity, this eclipse, to resolve issues that you're struggling with. It's like, wow, I'm really having a lot of hard time dealing with this or that, PTSD or whatever like that. Like I work with, certain people in the military, let's just say, without going on to details. There's PTSD issues. There's lots of traumatic experiences. I have a lot of clients in the military and such like that. And, when I put up postings, people are like, oh my God, Jeni, you're okay. And I'm like, yeah, I'm perfectly fine. Because I talk with many people per day of all walks of life. There's certain postings I will put up, and it doesn't mean I'm going through that. I just put up a posting in general. Follow me on Instagram. You'll see postings and stuff, such like that. So we all have battles and wars to go on within ourselves, within our soul, and of course the planet. Obviously, right? Obviously. So let's pull a couple of communication from the animals. What does the animals have to say from the 5th to the 11th of October? Like, just be really, really careful on your decisions you make this week. Like, be really careful on decisions. Think before saying yes. Think before signing that contract. I'm just take some time out for you when you're really confused, when you're really like, I don't know what to do. Take time out for you and say, you know what, does that feel right? Is that someone I want to get involved with? Or is that the job I want to move towards? Or like whatever it is, right? Really pause and reflect. The 15th and the 11th, if you're not sure and if you're like, yeah, it seems okay, then jump into it, right? You're going to find out if that's the right fit for you or not. You can always book a reading with me and I can give you clarity, of course, right? But, I'm just saying. So what's the message, the 5th to the 11th from our animal world? Animal world. Animal world. Wow. Okay. All right. All right. All right. The tiger fell out. Accept your magnificence. by Archangel Raphael. We all have our own abilities, gifts, uniqueness, and talents. We all do. That's what makes you who you are. I mean, could I be a scientist? No. I mean, I find it very interesting, but that's that's not why I'm here. Like could I be like work in the forest and be a forest ranger? No, no, that's not what I want to do. I love the forest and the woods and such like that. It's very beautiful and very grounding. And you know, when you're not feeling grounded, you know, go for a walk in Mother Nature by yourself or take your dog with you. And you're going to hear messages coming through because there's not the distractions. If you went to a mall or busy area, you're not going to hear messages coming through because you're very distracted with noises and so on, right? So know that you're magnificent. How many of you guys have looked in the mirror and said, you know what? You're awesome. I love you. I accept you unconditionally. You're awesome. How many of you do that? I mean, I usually don't do that myself personally, honestly. No, I just do my hair and makeup and I'm like, get on with my day, right? However, whenever you're feeling down, whenever you're feeling that, you know, try doing that. Let me know if you do that. Let me know how it works out. So, how many of you guys are subscribed to my channel? How many of you are tuning in to my next live here, my next clairvoyant psychic reading? October the 30th, set your dials, 12 noon Mountain Standard Time, right here on YouTube. You want to get notifications on videos and such like that? Subscribe, for goodness sakes. It's free. What have you got to lose? Until next time, namaste.